Saw, dude. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you doing? So I'm sorry my door behind me has to be open because my dog is sleeping and he's right in the way of my door and I refuse to wake my dogs up to move them. I just think that's like mean. I just like to let them sleep. So sorry, you're gonna see a little bit of what goes on behind me, I guess. Today's case was one that was recommended by one of my subscribers commented, so I thought I'd take a look at it, and it is a very interesting story, so here we go. Dana Michelle Strain was born on November 7th, 1964 in Maywood, California to Linda Strain, a teenager who already had an 18-month-old child that she was taking care of. So she unfortunately ultimately put Dana up for adoption. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because I mean adoption can be a really good thing. And in this case, it wasn't a bad thing. In June of 1965, Dana was adopted by Dean and Florine, she went by Kay, Plato when she was 7 months old. Dean owned a trucking company, and I believe that Kay was but she was a stay-at-home mom. Dean and Kay raised Dana in the San Fernando Valley until they divorced when Dana was 3. After the divorce, Dana primarily lived with her mom. By the time Dana was 7 years old, she had already appeared in over 100 TV commercials as her mom had started bringing her to auditions and kind of started throwing her into that child star type of life, you know. Dana was even an accomplished figure skater and at one point had trained to possibly be on the Olympic team. At age 10, Dana was in the NBC television show The $6 Million Man. It was a brief appearance, but it was her first official TV role. When she was 13, she made her film debut in The Exorcist III, The Heretic. This was in 1977. In the same year, she was also in a horror movie called Return to Boggy Creek that same year. I just said that. She made a brief appearance on The Gong Show, which in turn ended up landing her a role on the sitcom Different Strokes. She was in other B-rated movies as well as a video game called Night Trap, and also recorded 6 tracks with songwriter/producer Daniel Liston Keller at Paramount Studios in Hollywood. However, all the recordings were shelved and they were never released. The video game that Dana was in received a lot of controversy due to the violence and sexuality in the game. This was part of the reason for the Entertainment Software Rating Board to be established. Towards the end of Dana's career, she chose roles that were a little bit more risque. She appeared in Prime Suspect in 1989. She was nude in that film as well as in Compelling Evidence, which was 1995. Dana was also in the softcore erotic drama Different Strokes, the story of Jack and Jill. That was in 1998. Now jumping back, we're going to go back to her personal life just a little bit more. In December 1983, Dana moved in with her boyfriend, who was a rock guitarist, Laney Lambert. On April 24th of 1984, the two got married and they had their only child together in 1984 when Dana was either like 19 or 20, somewhere around that age. When it was released that she was pregnant, her character was written out of Different Strokes. The show was worried that Dana's personal life would ruin the squeaky clean image of the show. Could you imagine what a big deal that would be today, and rightfully so? I don't know. It just seems really messed up. In January of 1988, Laney and Dana separated, which was actually the same week that Dana's mother passed away. She signed over power attorney to an accountant, Dana did, who ended up running off with the majority of her money and left Dana with about $150,000, which is still, not a small amount by any means, but still, someone stole your mother's money. Dana claimed that the accountant was never found and that he had stolen more than $11 million worth of other people's money. During her divorce in 1990, she unfortunately lost custody of her son and was only given visitation rights. She later became engaged to Fred Potts, who is a filmmaker, but that marriage fizzled out, and then she married actor-producer Scott Adkins for a month, and then that relationship was annulled because it only lasted a month. On February 28, 1981, Dana robbed a video store with a pellet gun. After she left with the money, the clerk who was working called 911 and said, "I've just been robbed with the girl who played Kimberly on Different Strokes." How trippy would that be? She only stole $164, but stealing is stealing. Wayne Newton posted her $13,000 bail, and Dana was given 5 years of probation. On May 7th, 1999, Dana was arrested for forging a prescription for diazepam, which is used to treat anxiety, seizures, alcohol withdrawal syndrome, muscle spasms, insomnia, and restless leg syndrome. She served 30 days in jail for violating the terms of her probation and then entered a drug rehabilitation program. After she finished the 30 days in jail and the drug rehabilitation program, Dana moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, where she unfortunately struggled with unemployment and poverty. The day before Dana passed away, May 7th, 1999, she appeared on the Howard Stern show and spoke about her life, discussing her financial problems and past run-ins that she had with the law. She admitted to working on her drug and alcohol problem and recovery. She claimed to have been sober for more than 10 years by that point and wasn't using any drugs, except for the prescribed painkillers she got from having her wisdom teeth taken out. I'd like to believe her, but also it's like, you can misuse painkillers also, and those can be abused as well, unfortunately. There were a lot of callers that called into the show to question Dana about her sobriety, which rightfully angered and provoked her. She even ended up offering to take a drug test on the air. Some callers came to her defense, as well as Howard Stern, although he described himself as an enabler and sarcastically offered Dana some drugs. She did cut some of her hair to be used in a drug test, but then later Howard claims that she had asked for her hair back after the show ended. On May 8th, 1999, Dana and her then fiance Robert Menchaca, who was also her manager, were going back to California and stopped at his mom's house in Moore, Oklahoma for a Mother's Day visit. During the visit, Dana said that she didn't feel well and took a few doses of hydrocodone and I can never say this word when I look at it. Acetaminophen, I think is how you pronounce it. It's a combination painkiller along with a muscle relaxant, carisoprodol, and then went to lay down in the couple's Winnebago motorhome with Robert. When Robert had woken up, he realized that Dana had passed away in her sleep. Initially, her death was ruled an accidental overdose, but later it was ruled to be a suicide based on her previous misuse of drugs. I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. Like, it definitely could have still been an accidental overdose, even though she had past history with abusing drugs. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. She did have a very interesting life, and I would not have guessed this to have been her story. I found it very interesting, and I hope that you guys did as well. If you guys have any other suggestions of cases you'd like me to cover, definitely leave them in the comments down below. But that is it for me today. So with that, I bid you adieu, and I will be back again tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with another True Crime Courier video. Bye, guys!